So Kels, we got a video, a Simon Sinek video that Kels picked out for us. So Simon's always great, so I'm sure this will be spectacular. So we'll get this thing rolling here. Hi, Jay Brown. Hey.
All those great leaders and all those great organizations, everything from Martin Luther King to Apple Computers, it doesn't matter. Big companies, small companies, in every single industry. All those that command great loyalty, people. Loyalty is a feeling. Loyalty is a feeling, a human feeling. All those that command loyalty from employees and from customers and from investors. Every single one of them, regardless of their industry, thinks, acts, and communicates the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everybody else. All I did was write it down. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. It's a bullseye. In the middle is the word why. The center ring is the word how. And the outside ring is the word what. It's this little idea that distinguishes those that survive those 3 years, and more importantly, it's this little idea that is able to inspire people to join you in your pursuit. Every single organization on the planet knows what they do. You know the products you sell and the services you offer. Some organizations know how they do what they do. These are the things that we think make us special or better or stand out from our competition. But not very many organizations can clearly state why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit, that's a result. By why, I don't mean to have an exit strategy. By why, I mean what's your purpose, what's your cause, what's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why did you get out of bed this morning? And why should anyone care? As a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. We tell people what we do, we tell them how we do it, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, support, a vote, working hard. But all the inspired leaders, those with the capacity to inspire, every single one of them, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, thinks, acts, and communicates from the inside out. They all start with why. I use Apple very frequently because they're easy to understand and we all get it. If Apple were like everyone else, a piece of communication from them would sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? That's normal. Here's our new technology company. We have these features and that features, and we're better than our competition in this way. We're simpler and have a better user interface. Choose us. This is normal. Here's our law firm. We have all the best lawyers. We went to all the best schools. We win all of our cases. Choose us. This is the norm. But all the inspiring leaders and all the inspiring organizations do it differently. This is how Apple actually does it. They start here. Everything we do, they say, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? It feels different. You want to join me in this pursuit, not because my computers are better, but because you believe what I believe.
He got Simon Sinek really kicked off because he did a TED Talk on that, which is longer. Watch the TED Talk if you got some time. Oh my God, probably 2008 or 9. Whoever saw Simon, most of you have seen Simon Sinek, I hope, at some point in time. Watch his TED Talk. You will love that. So we're going to roll here. We got a bunch of explosion takeaways. It's good to see you guys. Home Standard, thank you for breakfast out there. We appreciate you guys. So guys, get out there and grab some food. Jason, am I have you come up here real quick and kick this off? Absolutely. So Jason with home. I keep wanting to say prosperity, but that's not correct. It's not prosperity. It's home services.
Home services lending. So hey, oh great, thank you. So our why is you, right? So we're your mortgage bank, and we're here really to help you put more people into homes. And so got some all good news today, Vince, on interest rates and everything else. And so here's a kind of, yeah. here's the current situation, right? So this is a graph of interest rates from 1 year up until last night, right? When I went ahead and pulled this and dropped this in and got it over to Jay. Thanks for getting this in here. We were down a full percentage point year over year. Does that put us in a much better position this spring? Right? So that's going to go ahead and speed up the marketplace in and of itself, right? So in and of itself, we're better. So why does this matter? It's buying power, right? Affordability is still on the tip of everybody's tongue. Vince, when I was here last year, we were talking about affordability, right? So it's still out there. I was listening to CNBC on my way in today. They were talking about housing and affordability. We've got quite a bit more affordability right now than we had a year ago. So in fact, if you look at a 7.25% interest rate 1 year ago versus 6.25% today, and I realize we can get rates lower than that right now, that 1% drop is about $55,000, right, on a loan payment that you want to keep around $3,350. So it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for people that didn't think that they could buy before. It's going to open up some more different neighborhoods for people to look in and all that good stuff. And so if you haven't started already, spring market's here, right? So let's go. Here's the other good news. Forecast, status quo, right? And that is good because people like to know what's going to happen in the future. And if we're going to kind of stay steady Eddie here in the high fives, low sixes, on a 30-year fix, this is good news. This came from Chris Kelly's talk the other day. If you guys caught it, it was awesome. If you haven't, it's out there recorded. But Fannie Mae's projecting interest rates around 5.96% this year. That's awesome news for all of us because it creates some stability, and people buy houses when there's stability, right? So we have a special going on right now. It's through Friday. We might extend it. We'll see, right? But we've already had a great deal of success with this. So not only are interest rates down, but we took them down a little bit further. And so we have a 1-year buy down special where the customer can go ahead and kind of choose an interest rate of 5.99, 5.49, or 6.49, depending on what kind of points and fees they want to buy. 5.99 is the most attractive because they don't want to pay any points, right, on that. And there's a free 1-year buy down on top of that. So you wanted interest rates in the 4s. So for the first year, we're going to go 4.99% on that, and then it goes to 5.99%. So fantastic deal. We've talked to a lot of customers about it. We've talked to a lot of customers about it, and they're not quite ready to buy. That's okay. We've got a program that can layer in on this after the special is over, but we're holding these rates current here through the 13th. And so the other great news is our team is growing. So she's excited to stand up and say hello to everybody. But Norma Garcia joined us last week or the week before. Many of you know her. She's been in the mortgage business before, but also here in the title business, and she's going to be a great addition to the team as well. So we're going to continue to go ahead and grow. So with that, we'll turn it back over to Vince, and have a great meeting. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think everything I've seen, right, almost everyone's projecting, probably 5 3/4 to 6 1/4 this year. Nobody's really projecting interest rates to move crazy one way or the other. So I think stability is a good thing for us. I'm going to run through a couple things, and then we're going to dive into getting Jay and the team up here to oh, yes, we're going to introduce, let's start. Marc Chedel, we've been, with Brian being gone, Brian's been gone for 4 years, but we just let him keep hanging around. So we're gonna keep picking on Brian even when he's not here. So if you guys call and pick on Brian, that's okay. I'll get a call from him. I'm all good with that. One of the things I think we recognized when we hired Joellen as a paralegal, we were hoping that could do what Scott was doing, in regards to answering legal questions. And we still have Cameron down in Kansas City. That's part of our team. But I think we came to the conclusion when Scott was literally physically on site here, and focused just on our organization, not 5 organizations as Cameron's focused on, it helped us get answers in a more timely basis. So every one of our managers and leaders, when they were having a conversation, could get a hold of them, and we could get back with you sooner than later. So we said, listen, in replacing Brian as a manager, we want to try to have what we had when we had Scott, which is someone that could be on site, that has a law degree, that can answer these questions. We're going to run through a learning curve here, but we wanted someone with a background that's done some stuff in real estate, and you've defended some errors and omissions cases, actually some of ours here in Omaha. So Brian has had previous conversations with Marc. So we wanted, that's kind of the role we were trying to look at, someone that's going to be there, for you guys as agents, but then when our managers have a question that they're not positive and we need an answer now, not 2 days from now, to have the capacity to hopefully get those answers in place. So Marc, introduce yourself.
Morning, everybody. Like Vince
You didn't
said,
need to dress up for this. I mean, you saw Simon Sinek was in jeans, and he's very successful. So,
yeah, thanks for having me. It's fantastic to be here. My official start date is a week from today, but over the next couple days, I'll be moving some stuff into my new office. So feel free always now, today, or in the near future, come say hi. I'd like to get to meet most of you. It doesn't always have
he'll
to
be down on
bad.
the first floor in Brian's office. So, the mannequins are coming back. We just don't know how many he's bringing back. We didn't ask. We said, "Do you have mannequins?" He said, "Yes." We're like, "Great, you're hired." We don't give a shit if you know anything about real estate, but mannequins are absolutely essential. It calms down people when they come to sit in your office.
So anyway, it's fantastic.
He has no clue what the hell we're talking about. He's like, "Oh my God." Look, we'll see if he comes back next Monday, guys.
Anyway, it's fantastic to meet all of you. Looking forward to saying hi. I don't know about the mannequins, but yeah, we'll see.
And actually, you were on Mike Pettit's team back in,
about 10 years ago.
I was going to say 2016, 17, something like that?
Yeah, so I've been in a lot of situations that I'm sure you guys are in every day. And hopefully that will segue into me being able to give you guys some sound advice for any problems or opportunities that you have. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Let's welcome Marc. So as you guys see him, stop by starting next week down there and say hi to him. Welcome, Marc. Joellen, we had a hearing last week on an ethics hearing, and the crazy thing is Doug Dosey in the room? No? Okay. It sounds like the Real Estate Commission actually, now, what I'm going to say is both sides of the story. We talked a month or two ago about the Real Estate Commission filing more complaints on social media than they ever have before. That is continuing. But before that, there was a whole lot of Real Estate Commission complaints. It seems like they're trying to get through them in a more timely manner and trying to get them off the docket faster than they were before, and we're trying to get some of those cleaned out. So, but the bad news is it seems like there's more ethic complaints, and that the realtors are taking on Code of Ethics saying a harsher stance than even the Real Estate Commission is on some things, which is a little switch. When I sat for years on the commission, it was kind of, they would always wait and see what the commission did, and if the commission dismissed something, typically those things would get dismissed at the Realtors Associations right now. And so this is a case here where there was a Code of Ethics violation, and the truth is, it's a Real Estate Commission violation also, where we were talking about things, and you've got to get things done at first. They asked the question, when did you get the agency agreement signed? The Real Estate Commission rules, and I have my audit review today, we'll see how our audit went last week, has always been first substantial contact. For buyers and sellers, you have to get that agency thing done. And too often, that's just not happening. So I want to give you a reminder, right, both at a Code of Ethics violation or a Real Estate Commission, that same question applies. And so when you go and do a listing presentation, that's a first substantial contact. Even if you're not signing the listing at that point in time, you have to get that agency agreement signed at that point in time. And so there's been a couple of agents that said they don't know that. I don't know how you don't know that, because we've been talking about this that rule's not changed for a long time. So at the listing agreement, that's what I said, at the listing appointment, whether you're getting the listing signed or not, right? Get it signed there. So first substantial contact. A listing appointment is a first substantial contact. You start showing houses to buyer, right? We know under all the new rules, same thing. So when you start actively doing something and giving a listing is actively meeting with them, you have to get that signed. And that's what the commission's going to look at, and that's what now the Code of Ethics is looking at in those type of cases. And the other thing is, what came up is you cannot say disparaging remarks about fellow realtors. So you got to think about what you're saying. Focus on what your value is. Focus on the things that you do better than everybody else, and that's what's going to win the listing. And it's good, I think, to always know what your competition's doing, but I'd be very careful about what I say about other realtors or people when I'm having those conversations with clients. Zillow, I've got to get January numbers. I've been playing phone tag with, going back and forth with Corbin, our Zillow rep. But when I talked in January, we had our December numbers were down. We are at risk at losing that exclusive we have on Omaha. So I will have January numbers probably today or tomorrow. I'll have a conversation with them. I'm hoping we've kept that, but let's keep focused on that Zillow exclusive we have on Showcase, because I do believe when you walk into a listing, that is a huge competitive advantage to help us get deals. We're going to be sending out, if we haven't, in California at the Rethink meeting, a kid out of Jersey did a Zillow Showcase, and he made a spectacular video that I know we've sent out to all the managers. I don't know if we've sent it out to the company yet. Jay, let's make sure have we sent that out to everyone? If you've watched that, I mean, he does a great job, and he's sending that now as a pre-listing video to all of his sellers. And he says they're loving it, and they're saying, oh my God, I want Zillow Showcase. It's helping him not argue the commission issue. It's helping him get listings. So those type of things, as we see them, we're going to share those with you. And so we'll send that out again. We can send that out. It was in a Friday email. How many people read my Friday email? 7 of you. Thank you. Keep that up. No, thank you. So we're going to try to throw stuff in there. Real quick, I'm just running through some notes here. The Compass merger, Compass, as we talked last time, has now closed with Anywhere. We've not seen huge impact really in Omaha. They own Better Homes and Gardens. They own Coldwell Banker. They own Century 21. The interesting part, which just came down, was I think Thursday or Friday of last week, Compass was suing Zillow. And I've talked in the past, there's no love here between Zillow and Compass, because Zillow has this rule that says, listen, if you're going to be pre-listing, right, and I had to have a conversation with Zillow to make sure that our broker exclusives did not fall in this category. If we did a broker exclusive, we did not market to the public anywhere, and then we put it on MLS, were they going to go ahead and market those through Zillow? And the answer was yes. But Compass is taking broker exclusives, and they're putting on a public portal somewhere, and they were trying to argue that it was illegal for Zillow to then not go and put those on the Zillow sites once they put them into MLS, if they chose to put them in MLS. Or I think they were even arguing that we should have the right to put these on Zillow even if we're not in MLS. And the courts denied that request last week. So that's the biggest thing out of this Compass Anywhere thing is we've got some brokers in some big markets in Boston. They've got a bunch of big Compass agents and some Anywhere agents, mainly Coldwell Banker, that are coming over to the Berkshire Hathaway brand right now. And so the big markets are really where the opportunity is, because you've got big Compasses, Sotheby's, Coldwell Bankers, Better Homes and Gardens to a lesser extent nationally. And the thing that I'm most concerned about is really this MLS thing, because Compass is trying to push this, let's put everything private. It doesn't need the exposure of MLS. I'm kind of in the camp, I hope they force all of the Anywhere brands, the Coldwell Banker brands. I hope that this mentality continues with them, and they're saying, let's not put them in MLS, because I think if you guys are sitting in a living room with the seller, one of the primary values that we should bring to the table is which is why I like Zillow Showcase so much, right? Getting 79% more views, is the interest and activity that you can create, right? As many people as you can drive to a listing is going to help your seller's chance of getting that house sold for more sooner, right? And we're seeing Zillow Showcase on average sell for 2% more than a regular MLS listing. Well, an MLS listing, for the vast majority of listings, there's exceptions to this rule sometime in that luxury market where they're saying, well, it's not on the market. Deb Seiswick, I'm looking at back here, does a great job of, well, you know, the seller will sell it, but they got to get the right price. There's kind of an urgency. There's a play there. But as a general rule on 3, 4, 5... Everybody welcome Mr. Fred Tischauer. Can someone get some Windex? No, actually, leave those smears there. Leave those smears there. Fred, you okay, buddy? Are you okay? Do we have a doctor in the house, see if he's got a concussion? Can we take him to the tent real quick, guys? Wow, that was unexpected. When Fred said, I want to come in with a bang, he really meant it. What the hell was I saying? Zillow. So, but one of the number one things that we should do is our job is to create interest and activity, which makes it easy to promote Zillow Showcase. But the bottom line is, on a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 listing, the vast majority of listings, it is in the seller's best interest for it to go in the public market into MLS. And so if Compass takes this position that we're going to be doing things on our own portal and we're not going to be doing it on other portals, I think that's advantageous to us, and we will clearly be coming up with lines for you guys of why we should be telling sellers, here's why you don't list with us, and here's why you do not want to do that. So we'll see how that shakes out at the end of the day. And just so you know, Zillow gets 227 million visitors per month. You see Homes.com, which the last 3 years has been spending this is the fourth year in a row they're spending over $1 billion trying, right? All of these guys keep trying, Realtor, Homes, Zillow, trying to get our information to sell back to us. They're spending $1 billion a year. This is a big business. And now Google has gotten this business as of 2.5 months ago, trying to do the same thing. Google's the one I'm trying to pay attention to more than the other ones. But after spending $1 billion a year, now for the fourth year at Homes.com, they're advertising. We have 100 million viewers per month. Zillow still has 227 million viewers per month. So the bottom line is that is still where the eyeballs are at. And so in my position of running the network, I'm trying to figure out who do we continue to align ourselves with that's going to help give us the best competitive advantage for our buyers and sellers in the marketplace. So there's a lot of craziness going on there. We'll continue to pay attention to these things. And a lot of people are like, well, what does Compass merger have to do with us in Omaha? Well, if it changes the landscape of MLS, it's going to have a lot to do with us, not just in Omaha, but everywhere across the country. So we'll try to stay on top of that stuff, guys. We had a situation, Mark, I think was in your office. I saw Mark leaders floating somewhere around here, that I need to make sure that we're paying attention to is if you're asking in the purchase contract for your buyer to pay for the seller's closing costs, we have, Daryl's not here, but Jay, we have as a line item that says seller's closing costs paid or something, buyer's closing costs paid or something like that. You put that in there, a line will come up. And that line will basically say, buyer's requesting seller pay 3% of the purchase price of the buyer's closing costs to include boom, 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 all the things that you want to put in there, right? Could be taxes, closing costs, whatever. In this case, it was separate of commission. But if you rush and you're not paying attention, we've had people put in there, and it's more than one person, unfortunately. And then I sent it out to managers, and they weren't paying attention, and some of them said, I don't see what's wrong with this, and 3 of the 6, and I'm like, just slow down. So I'm telling all of us to slow down. It says seller to pay 3%, I don't know what the percent was, 3%, Mark, tell me if I get this wrong, 3% of the closing costs. So listen to the statement. Seller to pay 3% of the purchase price for buyer's closing costs, or seller to pay 3% of the buyer's closing costs. That's pretty close to the verbiage, wasn't it, Mark? 3% of the closing cost is the closing cost in the case was like $15,000. 3% of $15,000 is $450. 3% of the purchase price was like $18,000. So we had a big, right? So why I sent that off to the managers, I'm like, this is where we got to slow down, because in quick glance, we could look at that and say, oh yeah, that's okay, which is incorrect. So when we're writing purchase agreements, guys, these are legally binding documents. We've got to be protecting our buyer and seller, whichever side we're in on these things. So that is the time to slow down and just not do something really, really fast. Does that make sense to everybody? Did everyone see what happened there? And I can see it's easy enough why they're writing that down. You're assuming, oh, everybody knows what that means, but that's not, the verbiage was like Amy from ATS came over and she handed this to me. She says, what does this say? And I read it, and I'm like, oh, she didn't have to tell me what had happened. I knew exactly what had happened. The buyer and the buyer's agent thought they were getting 3% of the purchase price and closing costs, and that's not how it was written. So I don't know, Mark, how that thing shook out or not, but it was. But to this point is we have a lot of these clauses in there already pre-populated for you guys to do. So grab a manager or look in our deck at what we have. Okay, what else do I got to run over here real quick before we get up here and start going? I said earlier, right, the social media, the commission is still bringing a lot of those social media violations. So yes, keep that on top of your head, and that's not going to stop. And we've went through this time after time. If you have any question whether you're compliant on social media, broker's name has got to be next to your name on every clickable page. Ideally, it's best if you're up, right, saying your name and BHHS A and B is approved for Instagram because there's limited characters there, but it has to be spelled out as Ambassador Real Estate. If you're on Facebook, it depends on the characters they have there. And if not, it's got to be the first line, or it's got to be a watermark on everything, every picture that you have. So to me, the easiest way to keep yourself out of trouble is put it up in your profile page where it's always up there. 1099s are coming from third-party vendors still this week. That's from us, right? So who's in accounting? Anyone in accounting here? So we're getting out all the 1099s, hopefully from you guys. It looks like a third-party vendor is doing that for us. We're finding a lot of new construction buy-sides pending. Yes. So here's something. We need your help here. So you guys are doing new constructions with whoever, celebrity or whoever, or a custom, and it's not getting closed for 6-12 months down the road. You're not turning those contracts in for months at a time. Please, the second, even on a new construction, even though it's not closing for months, we need to have that turned in to us right when it goes pending, okay? If you guys could help us on that, we would appreciate that. So let's dive into our group here, Jay. We've got Libby, Staci, Mamie. I saw Diane and Jay is going to be our panelists here today. So jump in here, guys, for explosion takeaways. I thought explosion, they're going to tell you what they thought, but we had our first explosion outside of Omaha in Laguna Beach on, I don't know, 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago today, right? 2 weeks ago today. Diane was one of our speakers. She did an unbelievable job, so thank you, one of our panelists. And we have a couple, yes. Are these live over here? Then we don't have to be passing around. Jay Brown, here you go. We are changing our audio system, so moving forward, our speakers, our mics, and everything's going to be, they're going to be better. Are you giving everyone notes, Jay? What are you doing? So I felt, first of all, it was at the Surf and Sand on the ocean, so listening to the waves every night helps put you to sleep. So it was a great venue to have it at. We had 200 people. We had the most vendors we ever had. It's amazing that you have something on the ocean. Vendors all of a sudden want to be a sponsor, right? There people are like, I think we should go to this event. But let's dive in this. So Diane, I'm going to start with you. We had a lot of panels, and I would tell you there's things for us to improve. Offsite, we found out logistics of not having it in Omaha in the office. The food was different. I mean, they had one line for one table for dinners, and I mean, you're trying to run 225 people through there. So there's things for us to fix, but I think the panelists and the content was spectacular for all general purposes. Diane, what was your, outside of yourself, what was your favorite panelists or panels that we had?
Here's my problem. I did not write the names down, so I just took all these notes.
Tell me what they're saying, and hopefully I can tell you who it was.
Thanks, man.
And we're going to, by the way, by the end of this week, I believe, is that right, Kels? By the end of this week, all these videos should be done. We'll be sharing all these videos for you of all of these panels that we had out there.
Okay.
Top takeaways.
What?
Top takeaways, and what did you think about the overall event? You'd been to them in Omaha.
The event was awesome. Yeah, it beats Omaha. No, it's California, so I would highly recommend going. I took just a lot of bullets that I thought would apply to me, and I didn't know I would be doing this, so I don't have the names written down, sorry. I like that the gentleman that talked about 81% of people choose the first agent that they talk to. I thought that was really key, so I think that kind of goes back to the importance of your sphere, working your own sphere, just getting in the door first and being out there.
I think that was Luke with Reminder Media who talks about how frequently, and I think someone will probably dive into that, I'm guessing, how frequently we really do need to be in touch with people, which is going to scare a lot of you.
And then how many touch points to touch your sphere every year? And there was a lot of people saying like 30, 40, and he was like, unlimited.
I mean, really, you're saying 200, but you can't do too many, right?
Right. Probably in how you touch them too is a little. You're not calling them 200 times a year, obviously. They might, stalk them, show up at their house all the time, and then that's the frequency illusion. I thought it just when you're always around and you're seeing them, even if it's like through Facebook and stuff, just getting in front of people. Every 2 weeks, he said they send out a list of local events.
Yep.
Oh, that was someone else.
Community events.
Yep. And then there was I think a woman talking about the for-client events and all the endearment postcards that they do, to drive to your Google farm, and just sending out stuff. And they do like 4 client events a year, which is a lot.
He had a team, a Keller Williams team in Virginia that does a lot of business.
And then make the guy that was doing the Facebook ads, and he was using the AI fake house. So sorry I don't have names, but no, Luke maybe. He had really good stuff. He did these Facebook ads, and it wasn't a house he had listed. That's what I was like. I never even thought of something like that. Just like, whoa, I would never even gone down that corridor. It was just an image and kind of trying to get people to ask questions.
Kobe, I think, from Florida.
Oh, okay. Doing carousel posts, get more readership. And I think that was good to know, because the only things I really do are Facebook and Instagram as far as social. I think my favorite one was the woman who said she comes into a listing appointment and she has down the 3 comps. One's from Zillow, one's from Redfin, one's from Realtor.com, or you can insert Homes.com or whatever. And she said, which of these 3, which one most reflects the value that you think your home is worth? So it's kind of a way of getting them to say what they think their home is worth without asking them, what do you think? So I thought that was pretty helpful. And then choosing who will make the most money for you, not charge you the least. That's what you want to ask to those clients at a listing appointment. Like, not who's going to be the cheapest, but who's going to make you the most money, which ties into my business model a lot. So I found that very...
That's Janelle Garrison. That's one I would definitely really watch when you're watching the panels. I thought she really gave great advice, and the input I got so far from people getting back to us is they really loved what she had to say.
Yeah, and then being proactive with clients and sellers, not reactive. I think that's really huge, and she gave some good examples on that too.
So you don't take everybody's. I'm going to let these guys come back and
Yeah.
keep your notes, and I'm going to circle back to you, though. Libby.
I didn't think I had enough.
So we're going blondes first. Now, I will tell you, my favorite panelists, we had my ex-brother-in-law, and this was mind-blowing to me, and his business partner, just the 2 of them, in San Diego. They rank in the top 15 in the Wall Street Journal in the country. They would be number 1 at Berkshire Hathaway. Over $400 million of sales on 60 transactions. Their average sales price is $7 million. I'm like in Nebraska, maybe over the next 60 years, we'll get $67 million deals done. It was crazy. And so she said she was talking about luxury. I'm like, how do you connect with the uber rich, and how do you communicate different with them? And she says, serious as a heartbeat, you guys tell me if I'm wrong here. Well, I love rich people, but I don't like poor people. And she didn't retract. And I'm like, oh my God. So after they got, and we had a lady from Santa Barbara that also had average sales price of $7.5 million. So when we got done with that side of the room, we came back to Megan Owens and somebody from North Dakota. I says, now that we know how to talk to the rich people, how do we talk to the poor people? And everyone, her face turns red. I'm like, I don't know if she really cared though, honestly. I'm like, you set yourself up for this, but I'm like, oh my God, I never heard that. Libby.
Hola.
Hola.
The end. So besides learning how to actually appropriately drink wine, I did take home. Okay, my biggest takeaway is clients don't need more data. They need our opinion, our real opinion. Zillow and Google, they all have charts. And what they actually want is, okay, what does this mean for me? So making everything, your presentations about your client. If we don't give them a confident market opinion, they'll go find one online, and that one is going to be wrong. So really putting yourself in their shoes and being like, if this were me in your situation in my house, I would do this to get the results and the goal that you want to achieve. So really making it about your client at the end of the day, and having an actual opinion, not just like the generic, it depends, the market is weird, rates might come down, like what is actually gonna happen? How do we get there?
Yeah. What else?
Well, I have notes, I just,
What was your favorite? Was there a panel that you had that was your favorite out of everything? Was there? I'm sorry. Was there a
yeah,
panel?
Diane was amazing.
Oh, of course, Diane.
She
Yes.
told me
After you get done
how
sucking up to Diane, anyone else?
I don't remember her name, but she was really funny, and she was like,
From North Carolina.
Yeah,
Melissa
her
Greer is
tone.
my favorite. She's a stand-up comedian that just happens to do real estate.
She was amazing. She was just a human, and
Now, she's the total opposite lady from San Diego. She says, I don't really do this for money. She said, I did a transaction. She said, I felt so bad. I told the lady, I says, listen, if you accept this offer, pay me less. I'm like, we need some coaching.
one speaker, they did say, I'm a believer in luck. The harder I work, the more I have. And
Yep.
that really resonated with me, because the agents who are doing really well, they're not doing anything magic. They're not doing anything new. They're just really doing the basics very, very well. So following
Consistently.
up, staying very visible, giving real opinions, not being a robot, not like letting AI write everything for you, which is crazy. If you're doing that, like, I don't even know what to tell you. Go take a class. So, and doing the boring stuff, which following up, it's boring, but consistency, it's going to pay you at the end of the day.
All right, now we're done with the blondes. Let's move to the dark-haired ladies.
Adios, good luck.
Brunettes are next. Okay, yeah, so for me, it was really good just to go and get out of my bubble, because I'm kind of very lonerish in the business. I like to just do my own thing, and then you start getting in your head. And so it was good to get outside of the bubble. Laguna is amazing. I don't know if I want to tell too many people, because I don't want it to fill up.
Well, it sold out immediately.
Oh my God. It was like, our rooms were ridiculous. Just open up and there was the ocean. So it was phenomenal. Loved it. So that was amazing. So obviously a thing like this is no different than coming to Berkshire, and just, I'm never going to be Diane Hughes or Mamie Jackson or whatever. And so same thing with all the people on the panels there. Or Libby Long. Exactly. Sorry.
Libby, she maybe
proud.
does want to be you, so,
Blah,
right?
blah, blah.
That's the biggest compliment of all.
Trying to pick
I don't want to be
out,
Mamie or Diane, but Libby, maybe.
So just trying to pick out the things that resonate for me, and then, take them into my own business. And I think it falls into two categories of just like the everyday stuff of just like self-discipline and the common sense stuff that we sometimes forget about, and then technical stuff. So that's kind of how I broke it out in my mind, my takeaways. And my favorite was Marc Christie.
Marc Christie.
Oh my God, he was cool.
Oh, my God. So we changed 5 years ago. We started adding, by mistake, because Jimmy Burgess called me on a Friday night, our keynote speaker, and says, oh, by the way, my wife's best friend passed away. The funeral's next Tuesday. I can't be at Explosion. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? And so I called at that point in time, and most of you have seen those videos or heard us talk, Brett Grease, who was the CEO of CSG at the time, and Jerry Krause, who was the CEO of Tenasca, and they came in and did mindset and traits of entrepreneurs and leaders. And so what we did there is, one of the people we had was Marc Christie, who owns the only golf course in Laguna. It's a 9-hole golf course, voted the world's greatest golf course by someone in Japan. And a hotel called The Ranch with 90 rooms. And then he met a guy, I'll let you go on with him, but cool cat. So, but that was that panel, the mindset and traits of entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and so just like watching what do really successful people do, and just trying to take away from that. And this Marc Christie, he's just one of those guys that you want to hang out with, you want to be friends with him. He's just happy, and he's kind and loving. And one of his quotes I wrote down, if it's fun, if it's fun, it's never work. If it's not fun, it will never work. And you could just tell, like, he emulates that. He just loves what he does. But I also noticed that he said, I mean, he's got a quiet work ethic. He's a hard worker. He's uber into his financials and his numbers. And so it's like, those are some qualities of leaders. Like, they are paying attention to their numbers. They're paying attention, you know. And he said he bought this ranch. He had no idea what he's doing, but it's no different than like Berkshire, going to these conferences. It's surrounding yourself with super successful people who do know what they're doing, learning from them. But, you know, don't be fooled. He's a hard worker. He wouldn't say it, but he's got a lot going on all the time.
He does. And he said a lot of his success started by mistake. He was out golfing every Friday, and one of the guys that showed up was Hobie catamarans, Hobie surf shops. This gentleman became such good friends with Hobie, he ended up buying all the in California, the Hobie surf shops. He owns a number of restaurants, bought this hotel that was a dump that he's redone. And I told him, I said, hey, my stepson Ty played golf over at your place twice because it is the only golf course in Laguna. And I can't imagine having a golf course in Laguna because the land is so stupid expensive, even a 9-hole one. He's like, did he play it correctly? I'm like, I have no idea how to even play golf, so I'm probably the wrong. I said, what's correctly? He says, with 3 clubs, he says, you need one that can figure out how far you can golf. He says, for a 5-iron to an 8-iron, you know, at 180 yards, something to chip with, and your putter, and barefoot. I'm like, now, if I was going to play golf, that's the way I would play golf. So I did call him the day after to thank him, and he said, hey, I'm starting golf in 7 minutes. You're coming over to golf with me. But when he walked up to me, you guys know I did not dress up in Laguna any more than I dress up here. I had a sweatshirt on, a polo. He's like, dude, I wish you would have told me the dress code. But he was just one of those guys, just you want to hang out and have a drink with this guy. So when I go back out there next time, I told him I owe him a dinner, and I'm excited for that opportunity to learn more from him. But he was smart, and I think that's a great point on leaders. They consistently do things, but they pay attention to the details. They're paying attention to what their consumer wants, and they're bringing that to the consumer. They focus on the consumer first and foremost, and then the byproduct of focusing on the consumer, the mindset was, and Willie said, get out of your comfort zone, which I think is important too. You got to get out of your own comfort zone too.
Right.
But
it was interesting between Willie and Marc.
Which Willie's got much better at speaking, by the way.
Willie did a great job.
He did? No, I'm being serious.
It was great to have both of them together because Willie talks about, you know, and you just take both from each of them. Willie's talking about being disciplined. Every single night I set my agenda for the next day of what I'm going to get done. He takes 2 hours out of the day in the middle of the day for him. I don't know what he does.
He works out.
That's what I figured.
You don't lose 60 pounds by mistake.
Yeah, right. And so, yeah, just so much on both of those, but relationships are very important to Marc Christie. He takes out his favorite people and goes to lunches. I mean, that is work, spending time with people, joining, you know, being involved in things. And Vince, you made a comment. You said, you know, to leaders, belonging is not that important, you know, but to most people, probably 90-some% of people.
It's the number one trait in America is belonging,
Yeah.
right? A sense of being part of community, family, relationships is the number one trait out of 56 values. The number one value of all human behavior is a sense of belonging.
Right, and so I think we have to remember that. You know, a loner like me doesn't think about that as much, but it's like, no, people do care. They want to be invited. And a lot of these people, these really successful people, they're paying attention to their clients and, you know, doing client parties and extra special things.
And that's the reason I push you guys so much, client appreciation parties. Bring your people together. The one thing that's always stuck with me with Brett Grease is like your tribe. People want to be part of something bigger than themselves. They want to be part of something special. People want to be part of your tribe. If you create a cool vibe that adds value to them, they're going to want to be part of that. And they're like, this is my real estate, right? They become your raving fans as part of that process. Mamie.
Right. I wanted to make sure I had a few things left to say. Like everyone else, moving to Laguna is high up on the list. This place can't afford it, but it would be amazing to live there. So I've been.
You got to make some real money because like a piece of shit house is like $6 million.
There was a
3-bedroom split entry, and I wish I was exaggerating.
Yeah, there was a 432 square foot house. Granted, you were buying the lot on the cliff, but it was 432, and Zillow said price per square foot was like 40,000 something because it was $18 million. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so again, 21 years, and every time I go to one of these, I learn something. I think one of the things, consistency is key, because people who were there, Marty, Janelle, Melissa, not as long, but 21 years ago, these girls were in the business, and Vince still has them up on panels because they're still just knocking it out of the park, just being consistent on what they do, embracing new technology, but just really being consistent. So pick something, be consistent. Vince will be happy to hear that I hired a transaction coordinator
Thank you.
last week. I'm 21 years in the business, and we went on and off with assistants, haven't had one since COVID, and I'm surprised. I mean, Title sent me a note thanking me for hiring an assistant. I mean, it was bad. I mean,
And TJ sent her a note.
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah, I mean, even like the girls who hold our checks want to know how we pay our mortgage with all the love notes, and I'm like, when about the 15th of the month, we're like, where's our check? So anyway, if you need an assistant, hire one. Even if it's just a TC, it's a couple $100 a transaction, but just hire somebody. Mark Christie, I'll just touch on briefly because she said a lot. The thing I wrote down, I said, he's the guy. You want to be that guy. So he's honest, he's ethical, people like him. If you're a golfer, it was a threesome, and they're like, hey, can we add a fourth with you? And they're like, no, but then they said yes, and it was Hobie, and that's how that started. So if you're a threesome, maybe let the fourth guy play. Maybe you'll become really, really wealthy, I don't know. But he's that guy. So when there's a deal to be had in Laguna or something, people go to Mark because they know he's a good guy. So if you want to just be that guy, have that reputation, business will come to you. And I think that's true in real estate. That's where our referrals come from. Be that person to your clients. You're the person they go to. I will tell you, I'm up here talking, but every one of our friends, every one of our clients, I will tell you, if there's an event, there's a party, they're like, can TJ come? I'm also there, but it's a TJ thing because he's like fantastic and people love him.
Yeah.
He's
TJ
that guy.
thinks work is partying.
Yeah, he does.
And then he says, oh, Mamie, you need to do A, B, and C.
Yeah, which is fine. It's a great yin and yang. We're definitely I'm like Staci. I'm like loner. As soon as I'm done, I'm like, I don't think they probably want to talk to me again, but they do. So reach out. Which brings me to Luke from Reminder Media. And his thing that I wrote down, the fortune is in the follow-up. So true. I mean, if you treat every deal, yeah, write that down, Blondie. I don't know who you are. Write that down. The fortune is in the follow-up. So if you do a deal and treat it as a transaction, you are leaving so much money on the table. They have friends, they have coworkers, they have kids. Fortune is in the follow-up. Keep following up.
Did anybody write down? He was giving names of other crazy, super successful companies, and like, wasn't it Allstate?
Allstate touches you. You don't even know they're doing it 37 times a month. That's their, like, for their clients, 37 times they will be in their face, so when the renewal time
Now that's from email to social media to phone calls to text to client appreciation, thanks Popeyes.
I just wrote down touchy, 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 so there's. Let's see, David Childers, he's from Keeping Current Matters. This is one of my things. I don't think I've ever listened to a podcast in my life. I don't listen to, motivational. I don't do anything which is bad. I'm saying don't do that. You should listen to it. I don't know if I sign up or what I do for David Childers to start listening to his stuff, to even our own guy, Jimmy. I don't listen. I don't read Jimmy's stuff. It's free. We should probably do
Mamie's
that.
an example of do as I say, not do as I do.
Absolutely.
Okay?
I don't know how we've sold what we've sold, but we're going to get better. Year 22 is it. Okay, so with Keeping Current Matters, what he said, and I know everyone always makes fun of teachers, and if you can't do, you teach. Teaching, he said this is true, teaching is the highest level of learning. So if you could teach something, you know it. So all of these graphs and all this information we get, practice, 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 because if you could regurgitate it and teach it to someone, you know it. I mean, I worked for a rental car company for 13 years. My husband worked for him for 18 years. We were in sales. You ever go and try and, they always ask if you want to buy the damage waiver, and everyone's, that's a scam. Well, it's not a scam. It's really not, because you get into an accident in 2 days and you just turn over the keys and go, sorry, that's pretty awesome. But it's a moneymaker, and you need to be able to sell it. And I mean, we would practice, and we could get, you were going, nope, credit card, nope, insurance, nope, I'm not buying it. You're buying it before you leave my counter, because I knew it. I knew every objection. We had a comeback. We had objection handlers, and you need to know those. And practice them, and practice them, and practice them, and teach them to your teams and whoever else. But you need to learn that stuff. And all the data. Let's see. Hire an assistant, move to Laguna. David Childers. Oh, agents are your clients too. Like what we just talked about, and this makes me cringe. If you get, okay, we have our clients and we have agents. If you ever want to do a deal again with somebody, I can't see everybody, so if there is one agent in here, we had a bad deal a month ago, and I am Italian, and I probably could have taken the higher road, but I did not, because I was angry. He'll probably never sell me another house, whatever. there are clients too. So if you get a contract and you see an agent write 3% of buyer's closing costs, call that agent and say, did you mean to write it this way? Because if you're like, haha, got one over on, tell your clients, haha, got one over on, this is what, we're gonna screw them. You know what happens when they find out? A, they might not be able to close on the house. B, it's gonna go back and forth. Just tell them, say, did you mean this? If you see something weird on a contract, did you mean this? Can we go over this? Did you mean to not check property inspection, not property inspection? Bring it up because A, they're gonna thank you for it and remember you helped them there, and B, it could go sideways down the road. I will tell you, if someone's expecting $7,000 in closing costs and they're only getting $450 when it comes to the time to do there's a good chance they can't close on the house. Your people have another house they've already bought. It can go bad, so don't ask them if you see that. Definitely ask them. Let's see what else. Can I keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Allison Borelli, she was an AI person, and she was up there, and I was scared to death, and then I sat next to her on the bus. And it's not as hard as you think. Like she was talking about, she's got AI for every letter that goes out, and she said basically what she did was she knew what she wanted to say, like do the utilities, do this, we're 2 weeks out. Everything we should be doing and don't, we're gonna do now, TJ. We're gonna do all that stuff. But she got AI to do it, so it was templates, plug and play. And AI is not, everyone's probably tried it to write something. I don't love it the way it writes remarks about houses, but tweak it. Like my son, he's applying for internships right now. He's a PGA golf guy, so if you know somebody in the golf industry. So he's applying for it, and he wrote it, and he put in, and we're like, this doesn't sound like an 18-year-old. And we're like, change this to how an 18-year-old would sound. And it goes, got it, and it changed it to the way an 18-year-old. It can do so much for you, and again, you tweak it, but it's not as scary as you think. Just try it, retry it. You learn the prompts. I have virtually staged rooms with ChatGPT. The first couple times it was not, like you had to learn the prompts, and when it gives you the bad stuff, you're like, okay, I need to prompt it not to do that. So it could do so much, and I would say definitely delve into it if you haven't yet.
Let's let Jay go, and then I'm going to circle back with one more for all of you. So, Jay, I want to make sure that you talk about Marc, because I think most of us had to sneak out because getting in and out, weather was bad that week. Did any of you guys see the last guy, Mark Davidson, other than Jay? So, you did?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, the 1,000-watt guy. So,
All right,
Jay,
well, I'll go over some of his
for sure,
stuff.
make sure you're
Yeah.
talking about that.
So I'll just hit some bullet points because I know we're getting close on time. But Marc Davidson from 1,000 Watt. What I loved about him, he said, for him, he said is real estate marketing is actually just promotion. He said marketing is research. And so even one of the things that he did, they just did a recent study on AI, which was out of the respondents, they found that 96% of the people that responded that used AI, they used it to find an agent or get information about that agent. 96%. That was a huge stat. And so I know Jimmy, he's got a Jason Pantana, who's going to be going actually over that this Friday.
Yes.
But other things that I loved, he says, let's see here, the value proposition is a real differentiator. People don't buy a Volvo because they need a car, they buy safety. People don't hire you for real estate, they hire you for the outcome you're known for. So your value isn't the transaction, it's the advantage you create in the transaction. Let's see here. Marketing is a behavior, not a postcard. So I liked how he goes, they've done a study. There's 100 points of confusion that they have throughout the transaction. And so he talked about the real differentiation is it's incredibly hard to copy. So you need to just take these 100 points and just break them down in different things that you can do to make that transaction smooth for them. But I think the funnest part was that he was doing was when he was talking about coming soons, or like the different marketing people do. Coming soon, he says, don't say coming soon, say like 2 weeks to launch, or staging underway, or pro photos on this Thursday, or launch day Saturday. Something different and direct. Don't just say coming soon.
He was ripping apart, just listed, just sold, coming soon. He says, just listed. He says, you send this out the day after you list it. I get it 3-4 days later as a client. They don't know what it means. They're like, okay, I want to see that house. Like, oh, sorry, that's sold. It's like, coming soon. Is Coldplay coming soon to Madison Square Garden? Coming soon in October, coming soon when?
I have one more thing that I didn't say that
Please.
was super, super important, especially with and we might have a strong spring. And this was Luke, I think, who said this, and touching. One of the biggest emotion that sellers have when their home does not sell is embarrassment. So I think we need to really know that, because they've told all their friends it's on the market. They were all excited about it, and now it hasn't sold. So that was part of Luke's thing in touching. You need to communicate with them and set expectations. It's not 2021 and 22. But when he said that they're embarrassed, I was like, oh my God, they probably are. Like, I didn't really equate that emotion to when their house, I equated anger. But embarrassment is a much stronger emotion than anger.
That's great. Jay.
Again, he just was really good. So that'd be one of the ones I would watch. But just with Luke too, I would say he always said frequency beats talent. I thought that was, and when you were talking about that too, is she talked about the 81% talk to the first agent, but you just need to be visible. So he has a top financial planner that reaches out to his agents or his clients 275 times. And so but he makes $6 million a year too, just because he's so visible. So again, it's not talent, it was just frequency. So
Yeah, I mean, I had someone reach out to me afterwards. They said, oh my God, Mark Christie and Mark Davidson, he says, like, that was Darren Hardy type stuff. So I would watch both of those, the mindset and traits of entrepreneurs and the Mark Davidson thing. Mark Davidson was, in my opinion, maybe the best speaker we've ever had at an Explosion in 8 years. Our response back from him has been overwhelming. Jimmy and I will have him on a podcast March 6th, the first week of March. And then they do surveys all the time, and he talks about what you guys, and this I think important for us to understand. He says, what we do that we think is marketing is not marketing. He says marketing is input. So they do surveys every single month, and that's some of the things Jay was quoting, talking about what's important to consumers. And then after he's done doing those surveys, he has his creative team create ads based on what the input is from those things. He says, but you as real estate agents, you guys are always putting yourself in the picture. It's all about you. That's output. That's promoting yourself. He said, why would you not put your clients in the picture? Draw to the emotional appeal of them. And he was just funny as shit, this guy.
Well, yeah. What's the lady that went ahead of heaven with the video? She was doing Boardman or Boatsman.
Yes.
And he was tearing her apart.
Oh, Marie, yes,
yeah,
yes.
That was hilarious.
And she does a great job.
And she does an incredible job.
Yeah, he gave her a free thing to his conference, which is like $3,000. Yeah. So he has something that comes out once a year. He comes out once a month. He charges $9.95, and they don't promote this at all. I didn't even know about this. So I'm trying to get us a discount on paying for this, but he gives you all these ads that are. I mean, didn't you love some of those ads that he put up there?
Yeah, we did. I did think he gave her a hard time, though, and I'm like, well, she's also selling $250 million a year, so I think she's doing okay. But,
yeah.
But she was
really
she was
good.
Fantastic.
And what he told me afterwards, he's like, yeah, she's a unicorn. She needs to keep doing it because she draws so much attention to her social media. She's one that you need to watch.
Yeah, she's really, really good. And so I think it is a balance of, like, you have to continue to promote yourself and promote your brand because it is all about you. And
but she's very creative, what she does, too.
Yeah. So she was really good. But then also, he's an ad agency guy, so he thinks, like, totally different than
he's like a creative genius.
Yes.
So, Mamie, Jay, start. What's your last one takeaway for everyone, Mamie, and then I'll run back this way to you, Diane.
Too many notes. Let's see here. Well, I really like that Allison Barella. She did, so I'd go back and watch her too on AI. She was the best speaker on the AI panel.
Yeah, one of them was not good at all, and one was really good.
But,
Sorry. Facts are facts.
Yeah. But, I mean, the thing is that when she would do something, I mean, when you do that, then you can turn that into she would create something and then she'd turn it into a blog post, a short video, a social caption, an email update, a follow-up message. So she's just utilizing it. And she didn't start that way, but like Mamie said, I would like really just dive in small and then listen to her. And there's so much you can do with AI to help leverage your time. So not getting a transaction coordinator, but at least you could go leverage your time to do all your social media and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm meeting a social media person on Friday.
Good.
Yes, finally. One of the other things I talked to, I don't know if anyone who went to Laguna, when you stayed at the hotel, the branding there was pretty awesome. And then we had this guy from where Vince lives who does his gifting to people, and granted the houses are, but his gifting I loved it. And that's kind of what I started, and then I kind of fell off. And but the branding, some of the things, just like on the closing gifts, I always do like things of toilet paper and paper towels, like for when the day they move in, and paper. I'm like, oh my God, if that was all branded, how cool would that be? And it just is like, oh my God, like little things like that, not branded toilet paper, the wrapping around it. You know what I'm saying? But just like the robes, I mean, they just had some really cool things.
Throw me down the stool.
Yeah. And then one of the other things was what Marie, the guy that they bashed, who did amazing social media, she's like, copy someone. Don't copy someone in your market, but look at Marie. Find a realtor outside your market and see what they're doing and do it.
And so you're right. He would like his raving fans, like he would get them golf bags personalized with their name, but then branded with him. And he said they all of a sudden they're out there golfing and they're using his golf bag all the time. He's like, make it special. Connect with those people that are your big clients.
Yep.
And I to get into more detail of something specific that somebody's doing, that Marie Boatsman. She said, if you're consistent in your social media, in 3 years, you'll be a top 10 agent. And I think because she started in 2016, right? And now it's 10 years later.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people talk a lot about videographers. So I know there's probably a lot of people here that do that. Again, I think you have to make sure you're staying on brand with that and that you're not boring. And to that Davidson guy's point, like, am I answering the questions that the people want to hear, but am I also like interesting and not boring, and those kinds of things. So, and then one last Mark Christie line, the person who doesn't take a chance never had one.
Yeah. And this Marie, literally in the last 3 years, has went from like 20-some million to 50-some million. I mean, so her business is really, I mean, it's
consistency.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Libby.
Yes, piggybacking off of Staci when it comes to social media, you got to be good at it, but information is everywhere. So learning how to storytell and interpret the data into real life human terms and speaking to your audience directly, not just to everyone, because if you speak to everyone, you'll catch no one. If you speak to your audience, you'll catch everyone. So just learning how to interpret that data for your audience.
Diane, wrap us up.
Okay, the one thing I had written down that I thought could speak to anybody here is if you keep your sphere updated on the market, it doesn't have to be fancy. Whoever does this wins. And I thought, okay, that's something I could start doing better. I know Megan does a really good job of sending out CMAs and things like that. But also, like, I've been trying to get the guys on my team because they're young, just to go on a story and talk about whether it's the rates or what's happening. You just need people to see you as that expert. Not every time you list or sell a house, I think that bores a lot of people. They want to hear what you know. And so I think if you're constantly doing that with your sphere and your potential sphere, and that's why social is such a good avenue for that, and you're just always in touch with them, following up, like they said, whoever does it wins. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. And that's something I can certainly improve upon.
Let's give a big hand to these guys. Thank you. Like I said, the videos, I know we got the good guy. The videos should be out this week. We'll get those to everyone. Jay, I'm hoping, and Joelle, I see you in here. I don't see Heather, but let's make sure on our masterminds that we're getting videos out, and we'll have groups of 3 or 4 people take each one of the videos and top takeaways. I'm telling you, spend time. You're going to get stuff out of Mark Davidson, out of the entrepreneur guys. There were so many panelists that just killed it and hit it out of the park. So I ask you to take that time. It's invest in yourself. What do we got for the good guy? Oh, Kevin is. Oh, yes. Sorry. Guys, all of you leave. I just lost 40 people in the back. QR code, Take Care Alicia Award. We need to have you guys vote on that. Again, if someone's won it in the past, that would be the reason their name's not there. That list is somewhere farther down the road. But please, anyone that did $5 million of business at our company last year is included on that list. That's how that list is compiled. But please, if we send out emails, we'll send out more. We continue to send them out. But we need to get that vote in the next week if we could. And what is the date for the awards ceremony? The 26th. So we're only a couple weeks out here on this, guys. So hope to have you all there. Where's the sign-up for that? Do we have a sign-up sheet with Lori? Email? Okay, so we'll send that out on our Monday email and our Friday email over the next couple weeks. Kevin, good guy.
Okay.
How much did you pay that? Did you have to pay to get that?
I paid for it for lots of years. A lot of years. No, this person I feel really represents the brokerage here really, really well, okay? And I also remember when I was diagnosed with cancer, he was always in my corner. So I never forgot about that. So this is for Ron Burkle.
His is working out. Go ahead.
This is for Ron Burkle.
Mr. Ron